Okay, we're live now. I can see it.
Mhm.
Juan, saan ka man dalhin ang kapalaran? Iisang bayan lang sa puso mo'y laman. Pinagmulan at babalikan, konting tiis na lang. At hanggang sa araw na yan ay asal, kami nandito lang, sabay na pakinggan ang mga kwento nyo. Sigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Pilipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo ang galing nyo, isigaw sa mundo.
Magandang hapon UK, magandang hapon Europa, magandang gabi Pilipinas, kung saan man po kayo naroroon, magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Iahatid namin sa inyo ang kwento ng iba-ibang mukha ni Juan sa special program live streaming JUANEUKONEK Kontra Corona here on Facebook and YouTube. Samahan po ninyo kami sa mga natatanging kwento ng Pinoy sa Europa na mag-iiwan ng aral, impormasyon at pag-asa. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal.
Ito po ang kwentong Pinoy, kwentong migrante, kwentong Juan, Yukonek, Kontra Corona. Ako po si Jean Alcantara.
For our Contra Corona project for the next 3 months, the National Lottery Community Fund is graciously funding this project to serve the Filipino community in England, UK, and beyond. Jean, today we have 2 special guests to join us. One is an inspiring Filipina. She was actually one of the 100 most influential Filipina women in the world, given by FWN, or Filipino Women's Network, and it was awarded last year in France. She has successfully built a global beauty brand, De Moi, in just 2 years. The woman behind the success of this company is, of course, Pinay Demi Coach.
Okay, Rose, our FILCOM KONEK guest naman needs no introduction. Kilala siya sa UK, kaya lang lilipat na bilang ambassador ng Hungary at 7 pang teritoryo sa Europa. 2 taon pa lang pero ngayon ay may send-off segment tayo para kay Ambassador Frank, si Ma-Frank pa.
Jean, si Ambassador, yes, hi. Magandang araw po sa inyo, sir.
Yes, magandang araw din, Rose and Jean. And good morning, London. At greetings to all your viewers all over the world.
Sir, before you joined us here at the Philippine Embassy in London, you were also a diplomat to the UAE and you were ambassador of Philippines to Greece. And then 2018, nandito na po kayo sa UK. Pero ang bilis yata ng post ninyo, sir, sa Greece.
Yes, I had a very, very short stint there in Greece. There was some problems, which is, mahaba na yung kwento. But move on. We have to move on. I requested the person I requested to be transferred to London while waiting for a new post for me to head.
Okay. And Jean, si Ambassador si Ma-Franca will be ambassador to Greece, but also to 7 other territories. Ano-ano ba yung mga yon na hahawakan ni Ambassador?
Actually, alam po, Ambassador, sasabihin ko kasi alam ko Bosnia, Herzegovina, Bulgaria, Montenegro.
So you're talking about you're asking about the areas of jurisdiction of my new post?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, I'll be ambassador to Hungary, but then I will also have concurrent jurisdiction over 6 other countries. namely Romania, Bulgaria, Moldova, then Serbia, Bosnia and Herzegovina, and Montenegro. So I'll be handling 7 countries all in all.
Oh, I see. 7 countries. Okay,
Oo.
sige.
Well, Ambassador Frank, 7 countries sa UK, isa lang yung hinawakan nyo. Hindi ba nakakapanibago yan na suddenly ang laki ng teritoryo nyo i-cover?
Well, dito sa UK naman, we have jurisdiction over the Republic of Ireland. So, at saka, well, UK alone is a big, is a big plate, so to speak. It's a very, very important country, not only in Europe but globally.
Mhm.
Okay.
So ibig po sabihin niyan na sir, na dahil 7 bansa yung pagsisilbihan nyo, ika nga, ano yan, magpipresenta ba kayo ng credentials nyo sa 7 mga presidente o prime ministers?
Yes, that's correct. I have to present my credentials in all the 7 countries. So hopefully I'll be able to do that in the shortest time possible. Say by next year, dapat makompleto na para the diplomatic relations can move on fast and smoothly.
Okay. Sir, paano yan? Lockdown dito sa Europe. Paano kayo magkakapag-present ng credentials ninyo? Baka may online po na presentation.
Yeah, in fact, that's what what they're doing right now. In Romania, for instance, they were already asking me whether it was I was ready to present my credentials by the 2nd week of December. So, but I would just be arriving in Budapest on the 2nd week of December. So it's not possible for me to join, in the presentation, in the schedule for presentation of credentials to Romania.
Oh, I see. Okay. Quite interesting. And then we saw some photos of you, sir, na yung sa oath-taking po ninyo. Saan po yung ginawa? Was that in, of course, that should be in Manila kasi nakita natin doon si Secretary Locsin.
Yes, that was immediately after we were confirmed by the Commission on Appointments. So the Secretary Locsin, invited us to his office at the DFA, and we took our oath of office there. Yeah.
I see. Okay. Sir, my question also is this. Bakit po kinakailangan na 7 teritoryo yung hawak ninyo? Is it because of the number of Filipinos in the area? Doon ba sa per territory na ito, kukunti lang ang Pinoy?
Well, the what you call this delineation of areas of jurisdiction of our foreign service posts is determined by many factors, no? And one of the factors is, of course, accessibility. And also the number of Filipinos is also one of the factors, of course. But you see, I am covering most of the what is called as the Balkan states. So that's why, because of their geographical, proximity to each other, and its closeness to Budapest, that's why most of these countries are placed under the jurisdiction of our embassy in Budapest.
Okay.
Amba Frank, question lang, no? Kasi alam ko dati, nakarating na kasi ako diyan sa British Embassy natin sa Romania, sa Bucharest, at sa Belgrade, sa Serbia o dating Yugoslavia, at sa Hungary, no? So bakit po nawala na yung mga embassies doon at ngayon nasa, obviously magiging kayo na ang magpatakbo ng mga affairs doon?
Yeah, it's like this, no? The first embassy that we opened in Eastern Europe was our former embassy in Bucharest, no? Romania. Because Romania was the first Eastern European country in which we established diplomatic relations, and that was the time during the time of President Marcos. No? And after Romania, we established an embassy also in Belgrade, Yugoslavia, when it was still one country. No? Because of our closeness to the non-aligned movement, of which Yugoslavia was a former, player, major player. And then later on, we established the embassy in Budapest. Unfortunately, way back in 2011 or 2012, we had to streamline and close some of our embassies. No? And one of those embassies that was closed in 2012 was our embassy in Bucharest. But our embassy in Belgrade was even closed much earlier, after the breakup of Yugoslavia, and there was, of course, a civil strife in that region. We were forced to close our embassy in Belgrade. So that's what happened. Right now, the only one that is remaining is our embassy in Budapest.
Okay. Sir, related to what you were discussing about the closing of some consulates, embassies. So, ang tanong po ng mga iba nating kababayan, bakit yung malalaking territory or for example, yung may mga bansa na may maraming Pilipino, sa halip na magbukas ng mga konsulada o embahada sa mga maliliit na teritoryo, bakit hindi dagdagan o focus na lang yung atensyon dun sa mga areas or territories na malaki po yung concentration ng mga Pinoy? That was, I think, the question when some of the embassies here in Europe, yan yung mga tanong ng ating mga kababayan.
Tama ka, Rose, no? We never close a post, whether it's an embassy or a consulate, in a place where there is a big number of Filipinos, no? Especially OFWs. So that's why when we tried to augment our workforce in the Middle East, in Saudi Arabia, in the UAE, in Kuwait, at that time, Congress did not agree, to the augmentation unless we will streamline. So we had to close many of our embassies, most of them in Europe, in order to for us to be able to augment our workforce and shift much of our resources to the countries, especially in the Middle East, where there's a big presence of Filipinos.
I see. So dahil actually, although Central Europe siya, hindi madali mag-travel para sa mga Pinoy across the countries. So ano po ba yung maaasahan ng mga kababayan natin pagka they have to do something na like renewing their passports or
consular services.
Consular service, yan. So paano po yung ano pong expectations na masasabi niyo sa kanila na gagawin niyo pagdating ninyo sa post?
Medyo choppy yung kan, Jean. I was not able to get
Okay.
to get
So
trying
sige
to say.
po, ulitin ko lang, sir. Ano po yung pwedeng ma-expect? Anong pwedeng ma-expect ng community pagdating ninyo sa post?
Maybe,
Sir, can you hear me? Yes,
Zero.
sir, can you hear me? Can you hear me po?
Hindi rin.
Hindi, medyo choppy.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Okay. Sir, ang question po dito is, ano po ang pwedeng asahan ng mga Pinoy na nasa mga areas na malayo po sa Budapest kung magre-renew sila ng passport for consular services? Kasi hindi naman po biro ang dumayo pa po sa Hungary kung taga Montenegro sila or taga Serbia sila. Ano po yung pwedeng asahan ng mga Pilipino sa embahada?
Yun ang pagmahaba, medyo choppy yung
Okay. Okay. Sir,
Okay.
kung ano po yung aasahan po sa consular services po para sa mga Pinoy na nandyan po sa oo. Kasi sir,
Okay,
mahirap
yeah. Well, for consular, our embassy, the embassy in Budapest will always be open to all Filipinos, no, in the region. No? So they can come to us for consular services, whether it's renewal of passports, dual citizenship, legalization of documents, yung mga ganon, no? Mga civil registry. We can accommodate them, no? But at the same time, we also schedule consular outreach to each of these countries, no? At least I'll see if we will be able to accommodate in each country twice a year. No? We will have to see to it that we'll be able to reach out to them, as often as we can.
I see.
Okay.
So, sir, to address the widespread geographical spread, no, magkakaroon din po ba tayo ng mga honorary consuls para kung sakaling may mangyari sa isang bansa, madaling makatulong sa mga kababayan natin?
Yes, it's very important that we have some presence now in these countries. And one of the things that I would have to see is whether we have honorary consuls in each of these countries. What I know is that we already have an honorary consul in Serbia, in I think Montenegro, Bulgaria, and Moldova. So Romania na lang ang wala pa, no? So I will Romania and Bosnia, I think, wala pa. So I will see to it that we'll be able to find one in these countries.
Sir, in total, ilan po yung mga Pinoy na pagsisilbihan ninyo doon sa 7 territory na ito? Kasi nanggaling kayo sa Middle East na ang dami-daming Filipino, ngayon po doon sa area na kung saan kayo ma-assign, medyo kukonti ang Filipino. Do you have the number?
Well, yes, more or less. I have the numbers. For instance, in Hungary, there are about 300 or so Filipinos. In Romania, is the biggest number of Filipinos. Is about more than 1,300. Then in Bulgaria, more than 800 Filipinos. In Serbia, 80, about 80 in Serbia. In Montenegro, 27, I think, to be exact. And in Bosnia, about the same number, about 30 Filipinos. And in Moldova, 7 Filipinos. Yeah. So it's about between 3,000 to 4,000. Yeah.
Oh, 3,000 to 4,000. So, sir, I would assume na ang posisyon po ninyo, mas malaki ang gagampanan po ninyo in strengthening the ties of the Philippines and the territories na hawak ninyo in the political aspect of our relationship with those countries rather than serving the Filipinos in the area kasi kukonti yung Pinoy.
Well, yes, most likely could be kasi alam nyo naman na in Philippine foreign policy there are 3 pillars, the political and security, economic, diplomacy, and the protection of our nationals abroad. No? So siguro since there are less Filipinos in my area of jurisdiction, then I can concentrate more on the political and security and the economic development pillars. Yeah.
I see. So, Jean and Ambassador, alam mo parang it's quite surprising for me, marami tayong overseas Filipino. Pang-apat lang palang pillar yung protection of our workers, sir? Para sa mga pillar ng pang-apat lang pala po siya in the pillar of foreign diplomacy, yung sa...
That's the third pillar.
The third pillar.
Tatlo.
Oo. Okay. So talagang ang kahalagahan ng embahada, Jean, minsan nakakalimutan din ng mga kababayan natin pag yung mga may mga diplomat tayo na hinahanap nila at di nila makita sa mga ilang okasyon. Ang talagang pinaka-importanteng gampanan ng ating mga head of post ay yung pagpapalakas ng relationship ng bansang Pilipinas at ng post na hinahawakan nila.
Mm. Actually, sir, very interesting.
Of course, Rose. Yeah, yung kan Rose, the strengthening of bilateral relations, the traditional mode of strengthening is through strengthening of political and security relations as well as economic relations. So that is the traditional mode of strengthening bilateral relations. But then, since we have a lot of Filipinos working and living abroad, it has since evolved. The third pillar has since evolved. And we saw the need to ensure the welfare and safety of our nationals wherever they are. So that's why it has become the third pillar of Philippine foreign policy. And it is no less important as the other two pillars.
Okay. So it's okay. It's important to note that,
Isang
Gina.
question po ako.
Okay,
Sir,
okay.
yung mga bansang hawak ninyo, actually Hungary, Bulgaria and Romania are EU countries. So may difference po ba ng approach kung EU countries or independent countries ang kausap nyo?
Oh yes, definitely. Pag bilateral, we talk to them independently, whether they are members of the EU or not. So, like for instance, we know Hungary sometimes hindi sumusunod sa
Yeah.
EU. And in fact, if you notice, in the Human Rights Council, Hungary departed from the EU, voting on the Philippine situation. So that's why it's important that we deal also with these countries individually and bilaterally.
Okay. Rose, may mga question yata.
Oo, I just want to make sure kasi we are talking over each other because of the connection. So I just want to make sure na si Ambassador marinig niya yung mga pagbati po sa inyo, sir, ng mga Filipino community dito sa UK na sinasabi po nila na good luck sa inyo. Nanonood po si Ronald Sipat ng Caviteños, si Lito Fami nanonood din at pagbati kay Ambassador mula po kay Virgilio Quizon sa Germany naman po yan, sir, ay good luck din daw sa inyo. At Chad, kung ma-post mo lang if you can pin it para makita din ni Ambassador Sima Franca ang mga Myla Makahilig, dating diplomat natin dito sa UK. Ma'am, thank you for watching. Wishing you all the best, sir. Ayan po, yung mga pagbati po ng mga kababayan natin dito sa UK. And syempre, mula sa iba-ibang panig ng mundo, may mga nanonood din po sa Pilipinas. Ayan. Who else?
I noticed some of these, the ones who posted. I know them, like si Virgilio Quizon, who is I think based in Germany. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Attorney Diaz is also watching. Hello, Ambassador Frank. You have been a massive asset to the Philippine Embassy. You will be missed. Okay, so
sir, may isang question lang ako, no. So dahil alam ko 2 taon lang kayo sa UK, pero siyempre napakahaba na rin noon para may mga mamimiss kayo dito. So ano po yung pinaka-mamimiss nyo tungkol dito sa UK o sa habang nandito kayo?
Well, maraming mamimiss, no? Especially community here. The community I've become close to the Filipino community here in London, despite the shortness of my stint here. But of course, London is a very special place. No? London is London. It's like a world cultural capital. So me and my family, we have really enjoyed our stay here. And well, 2 years is not a long time. For us diplomats, normally the second year is the year wherein you are supposed to already feel your way, and get to be familiar with your work. And the third year is supposed to be the time when you become effective in your work. Because the first year is spent to familiarize with your work, with the people around. So unfortunately, we had this major disruption, in the second year, which is the pandemic. Kaya medyo tayo, no? But nevertheless, we continued, to do our work in the best way we could. No? So marami pa rin nagagawa, no? Even during the second year. Yeah.
May inbox lang sa akin, di ko nababasahin kung sino nagpadala ng tanong. Sir, yung pong nangangarap na maging kasing katulad ninyo, follow in your footsteps at maging ambassador in the future, ano po ang karera? Ano daw po yung stepping point, starting point nila para marating kung ano man yung marating ninyo?
Well, for the young diplomats, they just have to work hard. Well, they know the three pillars of Philippine foreign policy, so they have to know how to promote political and economic relations with the countries where they will be assigned, and also, of course, promote trade and commercial relations also, and also very importantly, they have to have a very good relations with the community. So kailangan na they will take care of the Filipino communities in their area of jurisdiction.
Mhm.
And that way, if they're able to do that during the course of their career, then they're prepared to become ambassadors.
Mhm.
Okay.
Alam niyo, sir, nung unang panahon nagtrabaho kasi ako sa Central Europe, sa Poland, no? At covered ko yung mga bansang covered nyo ngayon. So napakagandang lugar niyan. So hopefully magi-enjoy kayo ni Mrs. Lou sa paglilibot diyan. So makakasama niyo siya sa pag-ikot sa mga bansang yan. Siyempre tira doon.
Yeah, especially when I present my credentials to the heads of states of these countries. Normally, the wife accompanies, or the spouses would accompany the ambassador, when he presents his credentials to these countries.
Mm.
So will be with me when I go and visit these countries. Even during consular outreach, if she wishes to come, then yeah, I'm sure she will come with me, because there are a lot of interesting places to see in these countries, especially they say in Bosnia you have Medjugorje and Montenegro, the very small country and yet beautiful sceneries.
Mm.
Sir, ito personal naman ito, no? Kasi kilala natin si Mrs. Sima Franca at a lot of Filipinos here in London really appreciate her. Ang tanong po, kasi yung asawa ng ambassador parang asawa din ng ng first lady siya. Kasi siya yung asawa ng ambassador, so you're the head of post. How important is the role of the wife of the ambassador? Para siya kasi yung soft power sa embassy eh.
Totoo yan, totoo yan. Very indispensable.
Yeah.
The spouse is a very indispensable partner, no? In an ambassador's work. Hindi pag wala kang katuwang, mahihirapan ka, no? So especially in your dealings with the community, no? You will not be able to find time all the time to be with the community, no? Especially the women, no? In the community. So importante nandoon yung asawa para siya na ang no? Pag hindi ka pwedeng makipaghalubilo or you're not available, no? Then the wife will come in to fill in your shoes. Yeah. So and besides that, women have very good sense, especially when it comes to culture and the arts. No? So sometimes they can contribute a lot of project proposals in these areas. No? How to enhance cultural relations, for instance, with the host country. Mas magaling ang mga babae dyan. So they'll be able to contribute much in that area.
Okay.
Actually, sorry, Rose. Alam ko napakalawak na ng experience nyo at saka siyempre ni Mrs. Lu, no? Hindi kaya panahon na para isulat nyo yung istorya naman para mabasa ng mga tao. What does it take to be a diplomatic spouse or indeed the ambassador?
Pardon, I did not get the previous question. Anong
Palagay ko po, it's time to write the story of a diplomatic spouse. Pwede po ba yan? O say, ano ba, kayo, but of course you're still in post, so baka mahirap, but at least si Mrs. Lu, baka she can write your story already.
Yes. Si Lu has always been a very good, a partner. Ever since I was a young diplomat, a consul or vice consul, we were in Malaysia, Indonesia. Alam niya yung mga problema ng mga Pilipinos doon. So when for instance in Malaysia and Indonesia, wala pa tayong mga OWA shelters doon. So our house will become the halfway house or the temporary shelter for abused or runaway Filipinos, no? And of course, hindi naman pwedeng tanggapin ko sila kung hindi papayag yung misis, no? So that's why it was who facilitated all this, no? And my work became even lighter because of that.
Okay. So mahirap din pala talagang asawa ng ambassador, Jean, no? Kasi una, wala naman silang sweldo, pero ang daming expectations sa kanila. And as the ambassador said nga, partner mo talaga siya, in cultivating relationships in your post. Now, on that note, magbabasa muna po ako ng mga greetings po sa inyo, Ambassador, ng mga kababayan natin. May mga nanonood. Sir, may mga nanonood na, watching from Bosnia, Herzegovina. So, nag-aantay na po si Josie Villaruel Arlante. Ayan. Happy na kayo dyan, Josie, na mayroon na po kayong new ambassador. Parating na po sa susunod na linggo. At yung mga nanonood sa atin mula sa Catanduanes, meron pa sa Pilipinas, mga nanonood. Mayroon akong nabasa dito kanina from Catanduanes. Juan is also watching from Pampanga. So salamat po sa inyo for watching, at saka we'll try to read yung mga pagbati nyo kay Ambassador. Ito sir, meron pa ring nanonood o watching from Romania, si Eric de la Cruz. Ayan ha. So sir, okay. So ilan po sa Romania? Sabi niyo yun ang pinakamadami, over 1,000? Ang Pinoy? Over 1,000 ang Pinoy sa Romania?
Romania has the most number in my area of jurisdiction, about 1,300. Yeah.
Okay, 1,000. Oo, so talagang makikilala nyo sila dahil maliit lang yung Filipino community dyan sa ano, sa
Ito sa
Central.
Kensington. Mas marami pa yung Pilipino dito sa Kensington.
Mas marami, totoo yan, sir. Mas marami pa yung Filipino sa Earl's Court at sa Kensington. Wilhelmina Buado, hello sir, watching from Athens with love. Ito po yung dating post na hinawakan nyo. May bumabati rin po sa inyo. So, I think we have reached the time. Sir, medyo mabilis yung oras. Maganda talaga, mabilis tumatakbo ang oras kapag maganda yung kwentuhan. Mayroon ka pa bang tanong, Jean, before we ask the ambassador for his parting message?
Hindi, sa akin lang, sir, wag niyo na makalimutan, baka mapasyal kami dyan sa Budapest o saan man. Baka makadaan kami sa inyo.
Of course, Jean. You're most welcome, to visit us in Budapest.
Okay, thank you po.
Okay. Maraming salamat po.
Have you there.
Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you so much on behalf of JUANEUKONEK at sa mga Filipino community na nandito po sa UK. Salamat po sa inyong kabutihan ng puso for always granting interviews and for clarifying issues kasi yan po ang importante naman wherein media. Kapag may mga tanong po ang mga kababayan natin, importante na nasasagot at nabibigyan din talaga ng atensyon. So your parting message, sir.
Maraming salamat, Rose and Jean, for having me here in JUANEUKONEK. And I look forward to my new assignment as a Philippine ambassador in Hungary and in all the other countries under my jurisdiction. And I hope to visit all the Filipinos there as soon as I can. When probably the situation normalizes. And also look forward to be able to work to enhance our bilateral relations with these countries. Thank you very much sa inyong mga pagbati.
Salamat sir, more power. Babalik po ang JUANEUKONEK.
Ang mga kwento nyo, sigaw natin.
I can do.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Nagbabalik po ang JUANEUKONEK and our guest is from Cebu, who is now based in Switzerland. She has a young family and she is simultaneously growing her baby, a global beauty brand for growing natural, beautiful lashes. She also mentors and coaches aspiring business women, and she started writing a book during the lockdown. So it's no mean feat. She is dubbed as a serial entrepreneur. So let's find out why and more about this Pinay. So we have today our very special guest from Switzerland, Miss Demi Coach.
Hi, Rose. Thank you for having me.
Yes, good afternoon. It's good to have you on the show. Thank you for granting us this opportunity to interview you. I know you have a very, very busy schedule every day of the week.
Well, it's a pleasure and an honor. And quite frankly, I was like, oh gosh, I don't like interviews at all. But yeah, I know. It allows me to be here to share some inspiring stories. So I thought, why not?
Yes, definitely. I'm inspired by your post on Facebook. And so, Demi, my first question is, paano nagsimula ang kwento mo bilang overseas Filipino?
Yeah, that was really funny because basically I was asked by a friend to help him interview candidates for a company in Dubai. So this friend of ours was working for an agency, right, that supplies professionals or laborers to the UAE. And it happened that this company is called Paris Gallery, and they were the biggest retailer chain of luxury goods, focusing more on cosmetics, perfumes, and accessories. So basically, they were just asking me, could you please, help us like filtering candidates for customer service, and they want candidates that are fluent in English. And I'm from UP, and it's like, okay, why not? So I did help, and then I don't know. At the end of this, process, they asked me, "Wow, you're really cool," because I'm normally very like cheerful and happy and just love my energy. And they told me, "Hey, do you want to work with us?" I'm like, why not? I didn't even graduate yet because it was like graduation was like April and that was March, and so that's how it started, like totally unplanned.
Okay.
And
So you worked in Dubai for how many years?
I was in Dubai from 2001 until 2007.
Okay. So
Yes.
it's quite long as well. And then I understand that's where you met your husband.
Yes, we met through a common friend.
Okay. So Demi, when you were in Dubai, what were you doing?
Oh, I played. I mean, well, I had different roles, like professional roles, obviously. So I started as customer service, and then I went up to becoming a department head with almost 2,800 people under me.
Mhm.
And I got headhunted to become kind of the CEO or the general manager of a distribution company, specializing as well in luxury beauty products.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I opened my own consultancy, actually. I was still in Dubai by then,
Mhm.
in Switzerland. For 2 years, I've been in and out. And yeah.
So you were doing really well, and then you were on top of your game. Was it a difficult decision for you to move to Switzerland with your husband?
Well, during my Dubai, especially with the last job, it was not very, I would say, I was not compatible values wise with the owners of the company that I work for. So at that point, I thought, you know what, it's time for me to actually do an MBA. And at that time, he was seeing me on weekends, so he would fly in Friday night and leave on Sundays. And I thought, like, if I want to do an MBA, I was thinking of going back to either AIM, because they have really great MBA program.
In
Or
Makati, that's the one in Makati, right?
yes, or I was thinking as well, thinking of applying in the United States. When I told him about this plan, he goes like, "Oh my God, I cannot do weekends anymore. If you go back to the Philippines or if you go to the US, it's so far because, Switzerland, Zurich to Dubai is like 6 hours only, right?"
Mhm.
He told me, "Look, why don't you try to apply in Switzerland, for an MBA, Of course, I said like, okay. I said, look, it's so expensive, right? And he goes like, no, don't worry about it. We can work this out. And I did apply and I passed at the Swiss Business School. So yeah, that's how, it was indeed difficult, but in a way not because I wanted to do an MBA and this is a really great school. So it was exciting. I think the difficult part was after the MBA because deciding, to get into the professional world again, and it's not easy.
Okay.
Swiss functions quite differently. I mean, I think we all do, right? Every country has their own
Yes,
thing.
definitely.
Um,
Even when you already had your educational, qualification from Switzerland.
No, at that point, not really, right? Because even when I had a business in 2005 as a consultancy, or consultant, my work was never here, right? It was always back in the UAE, and they value experience, local experience. And even
Okay.
if I was senior, I was just actually executive level already. after my MBA, when I looked into having a job, I always get into the junior like management. And obviously at that point, I was still very young and very proud. I'm like, no, I'm never going to go down that way, right? Well, I think it happened, I think it happened for the best. At that point, then I started like looking at things, like, what can I do? And I've always, ever since I came to Switzerland, I always thought that they were like very, very late in when it comes to trends in the beauty industry. And I was quite frustrated because they do not do the beauty treatments that I'm used to the way I want it. You know what I mean? So, for example, the way they do manicures is totally different. So I thought like, hey, there's a gap in this market. And the consultancy company that I created anyway was just focused on the same area. We were doing concepts, beauty concepts. I thought like, why not create my grooming concepts? Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
The plan was to grow and have like, a chain or a franchise eventually, and to have a brand, because
Mhm.
having a brand is just the best way to actually scale worldwide without having to have, heavy investment, and presence. So yes, that's how it started.
So,
And that's how
okay, so you're talking about your business, and you mentioned about the kind of personal service that you were accustomed to, which I think a lot of Filipinos can relate to, because you go to America, even in the UK, marami talaga, there's a gap really. So we tend to find a local salon with Filipino workers who would do it the way we're used to. So paano ka, Demi, nagsimula ng business with that?
Okay, with that in mind, I did
Yes.
research, obviously. And obviously, I was already doing my actual research, meaning I'm a professional customer. I know what I want. I also, when I was managing this company in luxury, like also even with Paris Gallery, I had trainings already. So I understand how this works. But in Switzerland, people are really very meticulous about educational, educational background. Meaning,
The qualification to do the job.
you cannot just say, okay, I want to do beauty, I want to do something, and I
Yeah.
just do it. Or what they do here is that either you do apprenticeship for a certain period of time,
Mhm.
so you learn the skills, right? So what I did was like, okay, let me go research, and I thought, okay, really, there truly is a gap, right? And I thought, okay, let me do this. So I went to school. So after the MBA, I went to beauty school
Mhm.
in Switzerland, in Hong Kong, and in the Philippines. So when I start the business, when I tell my employees what I want, they would accept that, from a person of, technical know-how. So, so I would talk from authority, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what I did. And then, yeah, obviously I created a business plan and then started it.
So Demi, you're a businesswoman. We're talking about a chapter in your life when you were trying to navigate your success also into the business that you wanted at that time. But what were the other challenges you encountered?
Oh no, I didn't even like we just talked about the starting point, right? So obviously I have this like, colored class vision, and I have this, beautiful plan, and like an idea of what I can do, and then imagining, how things would flourish and everything. But to my surprise, it like I think like most anything in our lives, right? It does not always come out the way we plan it. And yeah, to my surprise, it was super, super hard. I was not prepared for a lot of things. My challenge was countless because, here, as we all know, in Europe, well, in Switzerland, I suppose there's a bit of a difference from the UK, but they have so many benefits that we need to look into. Like the fixed cost is quite high, and I did not know this. Plus, here, employees are highly protected, right? I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but some people tend to abuse this, right? And I happen to be not fortunate in a way in those areas. So like it's so tough. And in fact, it took at some point, I think after 3 years, I started even getting hands-on, because the only way for me to be able to move forward without being always vulnerable for
Mhm.
my. But I think there's so many challenges. There's also the surprising like gap, obviously, and people's behavior towards beauty. And here at that time, they never really truly take this industry seriously. So there's that kind of notion that if you're in this industry, either you have no brain or you're not serious in life, right? And plus
Okay.
animation,
Uh-huh.
then yeah, I mean, you always tend to meet people that are a bit condescending. Oh, so
Mm.
the industry. Oh, okay. And then I also even had to go through some discrimination. But then again, I think no matter where we are in life, and there will always be challenges, right? But
Yes.
I'm very stubborn. I'm someone who will never give up. So I just keep plowing on. And obviously along the way as well, you lose friends and people tend to be, showing their colors among other things. So yeah,
Demi, I always see you posting beautiful photos of yourself. You're always glamorous and beautiful, as if you're going to a party. It's like every day is a party for you. You've always been like that. Kaya ka
no,
ba napunta sa beauty business? It's because you want to. Yes.
no, you know what? I encourage everyone to download the first chapter of my book. It's for free. It will tell you who I am. I was such a misfit. I was just such unruly, like really like boyish girl, like child. It was just crazy getting dirty and no, I was not always like this. But I think I grew up, my mom is always well dressed, and she always makes sure that, everyone looks good except for me, obviously. I try my best not to look good. I always like defy everything, but I don't know. I think in our nature, in a way, I think everybody to a certain degree we want to look good. And as you get a bit mature, you just start to become more, I would say,
Confident.
you start to like look after yourself. No, I'm not always, but I think for me, dressing up is about respect to yourself and to others. So I see it that way. It's never about showing off.
Uh-huh.
What I mean, I do it
Yeah.
because I feel good. And even when I was like not working, when I just came to Switzerland, I would just dress up because I feel good. I feel like I'm showing up with dignity and honor, whatever you do, right?
Yeah.
And it's also, I think, part of our culture. No matter how poor people are in our country, they always have these iron shirts. We try to be clean. I think, yeah.
That's
No,
true. I totally agree with you. Mga Pinoy talaga malilinis.
you really power. Even the most like when I brought my husband's family when we got married there, when they came with us and we went to travel around Luzon and they got to see these people in the street and people like freshly showered. I'm like, they showered. Like, yeah,
Every
because
day.
part of our culture.
People are amazed that Filipinos shower every day.
Early morning. No, but early morning, like because we went.
Imagine naman kasi sa Pilipinas, if you don't do that every day, it's hot, 'di ba? Sobrang init naman. But Debbie, you were able to come up, you were able to write a book and release it during the pandemic. Tell us about the book. What is it called? What is it about?
So I was mentioning earlier, right? The book is called Breaking Conventions in Heels.
Mm-hmm.
It's, as you all know, being an Asian, there's that stereotype as well that we're, here for, for convenience or married with convenience, right? Or also they say that, oh, if you're a mom, you can do this and you can do that. And yeah, there's so many conventions that I want people to realize that they're just conventions that actually basically it does not matter, right? The gender, or you actually can make things happen.
Uh-huh.
And the book, because a lot of people too says that I'm lucky. I'm not lucky. I'm fortunate, yes, but I created my luck. I created my success. Yeah, the book will show my journey from flip flops to Louboutins, and this is also emphasizing the fact again that it doesn't matter where you're from, what you have, who you are. You can make your dreams come true. Yeah, but there's a lot of hard work involved. In fact, my favorite motto is no mud, no lotus. There's no mud, the lotus will not bloom. So yeah, that's the reason why I read the book. Plus, I've been
Did you time it talaga during the pandemic? Or
no, actually, I've been already playing with it because you asked me about challenges. I had like countless. You will not believe, like really countless of challenges. Like even I am surprised how I managed to get over. Like jump over those hurdles because they were horrible. But I've been mentoring a lot of people, and a lot of people are asking me, what is the secret of my growth? Like, I said, okay, I think it's time to actually write this book, because this book will share all the experience that I had, all the mistakes I made, and I want to help people kind of learn from me. It may not be really truly exact, but for sure there are lessons to be learned. It's also it's also inspiring in a way, because it will show you that, wow, so actually I can do things.
Yeah.
Look what she's been through, and yet she's here.
Yes.
Standing tall and just growing,
Okay.
right? So
Yes.
that's the reason why. And no, I've been playing around it, and basically the decision to launch it was because of my publicist. We've been working together, so all the articles I write with her, and because I'm blubber, love to blubber because things like come in,
Yeah.
and and also I inspired her. And she is a publicist. She works with thousands of entrepreneurs, and she said to me, "I never met someone like you. Like, she's like, the fire, this authenticity, the passion to help. It's just like, wow." And how you incorporate it in everything you do, especially in business. And that's why we do a collab for conscious entrepreneurship. She was like, I said to her, like, yeah, there's the books. Like, what? You better share that book. Because
Okay.
also other people that I'm kind of mentoring or like randomly helping, they're telling me like, hey, why don't you create an app or a book wherein you just kick our ass so we do our
So,
thing?
so
Yeah.
we are talking about the book. Where can we get hold of it?
Okay, so right now, to be honest, you can download it to www.timi.ch. We are just offering the first chapter. The official launch will be next year, and we will.
Okay.
So if
So
you
the full book will be next year, but the first chapter is now available. Okay. I would have to get hold of it and read the first chapter. Now let's talk about this product that is making a lot of noise. So Demi, tell us about this beauty product that you have made very, very successful.
So this is it's called Dimois Bioserum for eyelashes and eyebrows. So this is a serum that actually stimulates like growth for your lashes and brows and gives results already as early as 2 weeks, some even in 1 week. So I've always been obsessed with lashes, because if you notice, when we talk to people, we look them in the eyes.
Yes.
And that truly shows our emotion. It's like the window to our soul. So I've always been obsessed with lashes. And, there was this, they actually found this, like, I don't know, a few years ago, 10 or 12 years ago, by accident, because it was kind of a side effect from a glaucoma medicine. And then, it just went on and on. And there's a lot of products in the market. But my issue has always been the same with the beauty industry in general.
Mhm.
A lot of companies that are commercially driven are all providing the product, right? But they do not put multifunctional products, because obviously they want to buy more. And I thought, like, why not create something that's two in one and also is truly effective, so people will really enjoy, the benefits of their money that they work hard for. So basically, finding a way to how to maximize people's value, like, people's money, right? The value
Yes.
of people's money.
So Demi, this is not a mascara, correct?
No, it isn't. So this is it, right? It's really, so this is a bioserum, yeah, and you put it on the line here on the eyebrows, and yeah, I mean, basically it looks like this. Let me
Okay.
just- So yes, no, it has really sophisticated formula, obviously, and it's made in Switzerland. There's no compromise in the quality. In fact, if we look at the what's inside, what's the ingredients wise and the amount plus the function, we are quite, because people say, oh, you're so expensive. Actually, we are not. We are so fairly priced.
Mhm.
You know,
So how
so
long can you use it? Do you use it every day? Do you use it like you have to drop it every month?
so we advise that you use it every day for straight 6 weeks to see the maximum effect
Mhm.
of that on you, and to maintain it,
Mhm.
because our body changes, and obviously we have a cycle of our lashes. So you
Mhm.
need eyebrows. We need to use it like as maintenance every 2 to 3 days. A
Mhm.
lot of people are like even doing it every 4 days, because some people like really like crazy lashes. I know a lot. So
Uh-huh.
like we need to do it like every 4 days, otherwise it's like gonna be on to the sky. Yes.
Oh wow. Quite
Yes.
exciting.
Anyway,
Yes, that's quite exciting. Is that available in the UK as well?
Yes. Basically, it is available in the UK. It's at the clinic of Dr. Hala, and soon we will be available in one of the top specialty stores in London.
Wow, so exciting. I'm looking forward to it. You should have your launch in the UK so that we see each other again, or we see each other face to face. So, Demi, we're talking about your business. A lot of people are coming into you now because they want to be mentored by you for branding and, for some advice on the business. Tell us, those who would like to be following in your footsteps, what should they do, especially ngayong panahon ng pandemic, yung kahit yung mga simple housewife na magsisimula ng maliit na negosyo, siguro give us some advice or tips na lang, paano ba magsimula ng negosyo, the one that you really like.
Okay, so I would start with really truly asking yourself, I do self-audit. What is your skills? What are you good at? What are your talents, obviously, and what are your resources? And you put it together. It's always easy to fall into doing what the neighbors is doing, and that's not going to work because you're gonna just dilute the market, right? And if you also you need to take into consideration that your market, especially if you live in a certain area, that is limited. So always find, I would say, the pain point. What is lacking? For example, you look around, what is missing? What do people want that's not available, right? And then look at your skills. How can I make this happen? And I say to you, we can always make things happen if we have clarity on what we want. Because also, when that happens, somehow we always attract the right people to come into our lives. And always try to ask people around you. Never be shy or afraid, to ask for help. Starting a business is also not just about starting a business. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they glamorize the idea of being an entrepreneur. Okay, there's a lot of responsibilities, there's a lot of sacrifices, for you to be successful. And therefore, a lot of people are saying wow, there's only 1% up there because this is the only percent that is willing to do what the 99% will not do. So with that being said, when you want to start a business, truly be honest, self-audit, and then look at pain points. What problem can you solve, right? And if you try to copy someone, it happens. I don't always innovate. Build on it. Put something that makes it special to make you more, attractive. And also, whatever you do not forget purpose. Always be purpose-led, because when your aim is not just money, when your aim is good, when you're aiming to touch lives, to help people, or to actually make a difference, because when you answer a pain point, obviously you're helping, right? Money comes, success kind of somehow comes to you. And I am a living proof of that, and the brands that I work with. So yeah,
Purpose. Wow. On that note, Demi, what inspiring message would you like to leave or to give to our kababayans in Europe and those watching in the Philippines and wherever they are, kung nasaan man silang sulok ng mundo na nanonood ng JUANEUKONEK?
So remember that wherever you are right now, whatever you have, remember that you have it in you to fulfill your dreams, accomplish your dreams. Oprah said that the secret to success is that there is no secret. You just have to be willing to put in the hard work consistently. And I will add, if you add kindness and gratefulness to it, you're just going to be unstoppable.
Maraming salamat ang ating pong special guest this afternoon, this successful Cebuana living in Switzerland, also living her dreams now. Salamat, Demi.
Salamat too. Thank you. Salamat kaayo sa tanan, to all the Cebuanas. And yes, I hope I did inspire you, and I will try to answer. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me. I believe Rose will give the contact details. And yeah, whatever you do, just have faith in yourself, and be good.
Pinay power, yes.
Yeah.
Bye. Salamat.
Bye.
Sa World Remit, naiintindihan namin ang iyong paglalakbay. Na minsan, kailangan lumayo upang makamit ang tagumpay. With ways to save more, when you send more, World Remit is here for you, so you can be there for them.
Nagbabalik po ang JUANEUKONEK. Jean,
Yes.
nakikinig ka ba dun sa beauty segment natin? That's up my street. But of course, hindi ko inaasahan sa iyo because alam mo naman, ang mga babae, iba ang mga requirements sa pagpapaganda.
Absolutely.
Well, Jean, tanong ko sa iyo, nagpapadala ka pa ba ng pera sa Pilipinas?
Oo naman. Siyempre, may mga pamilya pa rin ako doon. At saka charity, siyempre, yung mga pag may nangyari, we have to send money to help out.
Okay.
So, bakit mo
Kasi ito maganda, tinutulungan natin ang ating isang supporter. Ito pong kumpanya na napanood po ninyo ngayon. Kung mga nakatutok kayo, I'm sure nakita nyo yung advert, no? Kasi libre po ang pagpapadala ng pera sa Pilipinas, walang charge via World Remit. So kung magpapadala kayo sa Philippines, meron kayong chance to do 3 transactions na libre. Maganda ito kasi alam mo naman ang mga kababayan natin na nasa ibang bansa, hindi talaga nakakalimot magbigay ng aginaldo, ng regalo sa mga kamag-anak sa Pilipinas. And syempre, ang pinakamabilis na paraan yan is magpadala ng pera. And another thing is, meron pang, kung sino man po yung magpapadala, mayroon pong chance na makasama kayo sa raffle draw.
Yes, so customers sending money to the Philippines in December are qualified to enter a raffle for a chance to win pesos 200,000 worth of pangkabuhayan package para sa mga loved ones nila sa Pilipinas. Para po sa kadagdagang kaalaman tungkol sa raffle, bisitahin niyo po itong link na ipapakita ni Chad.
Chad, nandyan yung link. O, ayan. So, ibig sabihin, Jean, kung magpapadala ka sa Pilipinas, ikaw ang nagpadala at gagamit nga nung free voucher. Tama ba? Yeah. Promo code na may 3 free promotional code. 3 free pala ang kailangan mong isulat. And then, kung ikaw ang mananalo, hindi ikaw ang tatanggap ng prize, kundi yung recipient sa yung nasa Pilipinas. Kaya maswerte yung mga nasa Philippines kasi kayo po ang makakatanggap ng premyong ito. Yan.
Kasi parang wala akong nakikitang ibang nag-o-offer ng ganyang incentive ngayong Kapaskuhan.
Oo. At saka alam mo, I remember when we had our live during the Typhoon Rolly, mayroon ding isang remittance. I don't know if it's World Remit, no? Kung siya yung nagbigay nitong incentive na yung magpapadala ng tulong sa mga binagyo ay libre po, walang transaction fee. Kasi malaki rin yung 5 pounds kung malaki yung pera na ipapadala mo sa Pilipinas, ano? So, so malaking tulong ito, and I'm sure yung mga nakikinig sa atin ngayon, ito po yung chance ninyo to use this company kung magpapadala po kayo ng pera sa Pilipinas. So, Jean, isang makabuluhan, makulay na hapon dito sa UK because of our guest. Alam mo, ikaw pala ay na-assign ka pala doon sa region ni Ambassador, yung territory na i-cover niya. So you know that area so well.
Yes, I was in Poland, in Warsaw and Krakow for 4 years sa British Council. So nalibot ko yan kasi parte ng responsibilities ko siya. Kaya ang ganda doon, I'm sure mag-i-enjoy sila.
Parang ambassador din, meron kang territories na hawak.
Oo, parang ganun din. Ay mga benefits, maganda rin.
Oo.
At siyempre, malungkot din kasi pag mag-isa ka, kasi nung nauna ako doon, ako lang, and then sumunod si Napay at saka Melissa afterward.
Your family. Okay. And
Oo.
Jean, paano mo i-describe yung mga Pinoy dyan? Kasi hindi pa tayo nagkakaroon ng guest from that side of Europe. Ano yung ano nila? Ano yung peculiarity ng mga Pinoy dyan? Anong mga trabaho nila? Migrants ba sila na contract workers o yung mga Pinoy na nag-asawa ng mga locals?
Well, iba't iba, no? May mga professionals na siyempre mga high level na engineers, ganyan. But of course, may mga asawa ng expatriates at may mga household staff din. So mixture. So it's nice kasi maliit lang lagi ang community pag pumunta ka sa isang lugar and mababait pa sila sa isa't isa.
I see. So yung pag-travel mo from one country to another, kasi yan yung na-discuss din ni the ambassador's wife, you can do it by land.
Oh yes. You can actually drive around if you want to, no? But you know, malaking lugar din yan. But if you have time, 1 week you can do a few countries.
I see. That's interesting. So maybe we should visit the PhilCom in that area. Doon sa hahawakan ni Ambassador Sima Franca. And of course, inspiring storya ng kababayan natin na taga Cebu. Marami ako na-pick up na mga key points sa kanya. Pinpoint. Kailangan ka daw mag-pinpoint. Start a business. Alamin mo kung ano yung mga walang gumagawa na negosyo. Mag-self-audit. O, di ba? Mga powerful.
Doon sa sinabi niya, kasi siyempre nakikita lang natin yung glamour and so on sa mga postings niya. Pero behind the scenes pala, meron din siya mga na-encounter na challenges. So at least it's good to know kasi sabi nga nung ilang mga tagapanood natin, very inspiring. It's good to know what happens when you do a business. Kaya maganda.
Oo, yung hindi naman off the record, pero hindi na namin nabanggit sa kwentuhan namin. Marami talaga si Demi na pinagdaanan. Kaya ang natutunan ko sa kanya, if you really want your business to succeed, hindi ka talaga susuko. And then you have to find out naman kung kailangan mo nang i-give up yan dahil wala na siyang patutunguhan. So, sinasabi niya rin, hindi naman masama ang mangopya ka, but you have to innovate. Kasi alam naman natin marami ding bansa ang gumagawa yan, ini-innovate nila yung galing sa Asia, 'di ba? At mas pinapaganda nila. Yeah. And then yung isa pang sinabi rin ni Demi is purpose-led. O, 'di ba? Kailangan anong purpose ba ng negosyo mo? I'm quite inspired by what Demi shared this afternoon. So, maraming salamat sa pag-share ng storya, Demi. Sana yung mga kababayan natin na maliit o malaking negosyo ay may natutunan sa'yo. But you're also a businessman, Jean.
Well, I am. And I guess in a way, I'm also a serial entrepreneur. Pero for now, I'm sticking to the immigration business.
Okay. Yung basta pagiging serial entrepreneur mo, nalaman mo na ngayon kung saan ka lang dapat mag-focus.
Absolutely. Kasi
nag-self-audit ka na.
Yes, at purpose-led na.
Okay. I think magbasa lang ako ng iba dito and then mag-close na po tayo dahil baka magtampo yung mga ating mga supporters at ang mga tumatangkilik sa atin. Ay nako, Jean. Bong Agostines, kasama po ba? Magkano ang minimum na ipapadala? I think wala. Bong, you have to go to the page. Doon sa pinin namin kanina, wala pong, ang alam ko walang minimum, but we have to check on that. Jean, gusto ko lang sanang i-share also na ang ating stringer ng TFC News na si Bong Agostines ay nagkaroon siya ng karamdaman. Yeah. He was in the hospital, kaya mga kababayan natin sa Europa, lalo na sa Paris, mataas po ang COVID-19 infection dyan. Si Bong ay na-ospital, pero ang nakakapagtaka, ilang araw na siya sa ospital, hindi naman siya nagpa-positive sa COVID. After a couple of days, saka siya nalaman na COVID.
Oo.
So Bong...
Magaling na siya ngayon. Pagaling na.
Yes, magaling na siya. Nakauwi na siya, but he was isolated for a week na walang pwedeng bumisita sa kanya kasi tinamaan yung lungs niya, nagkaroon siya ng pneumonia, I think. Pero I'm glad naka-recover na. So at maraming nagdasal sa kanya. Bong, we are here for you. Ikaw ay aming solid supporter at ating pinakamasipag na isa sa pinakamasipag na stringer ng TFC News. Kasi naalala mo, Jean, si Bong palaging nasa labas nagko-cover yan for TFC.
Of course. At kasama pa minsan ang kanyang mahal na kabiyak, si Honey.
Oo.
Woman pa.
Sabi ko nga sa kanya, pag nag-interview ka, lumayo ka naman kahit naka-face mask ka. You have to be, you have to be really, sinusunod naman yun. But syempre, hindi kasi natin yun nga ang problema sa COVID, diba? Hindi natin alam kung sino ang pwedeng makahawa sa'yo. Hindi natin siya nakikita. Kaya, ingat tayo mga kababayan. Sino pa ba ang mga nandito? Do you have your list, Jane? May mababatiin ka, Jane?
Well, andyan ang kaibigan natin si Dan Revelo. Nanonood niya lagi. Dan, maraming salamat sa suporta.
Okay.
Then,
Yes. I think nanonood yung mommy ko ngayon. My mom is watching at nasa Bicol region na siya. And also my niece, syempre Eclarinal agad ang nababasa ko dito. Kaya, and my brother also, lahat sila nanonood. Scattered, Pampanga and Bicol. Thank you for watching. Sana ma-inspire kayo, lalo na yung mga pamangkin ko na bata pa about business. Okay? Sana po ay wala tayong nakalimutan. We'll catch up with you again next time para sa ating...
Only Deza, maraming salamat. Panonood from Ghana in Africa.
Aba, umabot tayo sa Ghana?
Yes.
Pinoy ba yan? Ate mo?
Oh, only Deza, he's actually my kababayan and kaeskwela ni Mayor Cynthia. And he's a very senior person in one of the international NGOs there.
I see. Okay. Hi. Salamat po sa panunood. So, ito lang po ang inabot ng ating oras ngayong hapon. Maraming salamat po sa inyo sa pagtutok ninyo. Kasama namin kayo sa pagkonekta sa mga Pinoy sa Europa ngayong panahon ng pandemya. Ang kwento ni Juan sa Europa ay kwento ng bawat Pilipino sa iba-ibang sulok ng mundo.
Sana po ay nag-iwan kami ng aral, impormasyon, ngiti at pag-asa.
Thank you to the National Lottery Community Fund for being our funder in this project, Kontra Corona Kabayan. We will be serving you in the next 3 months. Ako po si Rose Eclarinal.
At ako po si Jean Alcantara.
Hanggang sa muli sa Juan, you connect.
Ang mga kwento nyo, sigaw natin sa mundo, bagong bayani namin kayo. Sipag at tapang nyo, hinialay sa mundo, sinasaludo namin kayo. Pilipino, itaas ang noo, ipagmalaki mo.